Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and today you've joined me at Garage 42 to find out how the other half lives, or other 1%, I should say. This is the 2007 Bentley Azure convertible, or probably drop head, and we're gonna go into this one a little bit blind. I know a few facts and figures about the car, namely the power plant. This has a 6 3/4 liter V8 twin turbo with 450 horsepower and 645 pound-feet of torque. What a thing, and it gives you an idea of what it's meant to do. When you see those torque figures like that, when they're so far above the power, you know it's either going to be diesel or the ultimate luxury car. The first thing you notice when you approach this vehicle is its sheer size. It looks like a yacht. In fact, the rear deck really does look like the back of a boat, and the way it slopes off, clearly inspired by Monaco yacht people. But here's the best part. When you come inside this car, every single detail is outrageous. It's beautiful wood, and there's just no spared expense on luxury. In fact, if you were sitting in the rear seat and you had to move out yourself and you didn't have someone opening the door for you, there's even a separate door handle so you don't have to reach all the way forward to grab the normal one. And when you sit inside, you feel tiny. I feel like such a small human being. The cockpit just completely envelops you. Of course, we've got beautiful gauges. Let's start it up. Key only goes in one direction, so it's like a USB. I always put it in the wrong direction first. Let's see if the steering wheel will lower. There we go. 4,003 miles on this Bentley. Unbelievable. I feel like Mike Tyson in this. Where's my tiger? To open and close the vents, everything is just this beautiful aluminum. I mean, I can't even begin to express how outrageous this is. But enough about the opulence. Let's take a look under the bonnet. But wait, even the door handles, they're knurled back here. Holy cow. I'll never forget Jermaine Dupri said, "You gotta have a B for Big Dog" on MTV's Cribs. Yes, and under here, that's where we see the 6 3/4 liter twin turbo. Definitely very Harry Potter vibes from that. But of course, we'd expect nothing less from the English. This was hand-built in Crewe, England by P.A. Titley, Bentley Motors Limited. All right, I really gotta stop doing this accent. Let's just go for a drive. I need to know what this is like. But also, oh, look at this trunk. Now, I'm probably just doing it wrong. It didn't go all the way up. But look at the size of these struts. This is outrageous. These look like monster pistons on a machine, not a deck lid. And there's beautiful carpet inside here. And these are the original floor mats. These are the floor. Look at this. That is like 1.5 inches deep. Oh my goodness. This is like, how many cats died for this? In the back, we've got Master William. Is this the royal way? That's PTSRS on Instagram, and he's gonna enjoy himself in pure luxury today. We'll be following David in the 600 LT, because this thing's actually very, very quiet. It's got a bit of a rumble, but there's nothing anywhere near what that is gonna do. This is definitely designed to insulate you, so I'm gonna check my gain on this. I think we'll be okay. So while he drives his little jet ski speedboat, we'll be wafting along in the Yacht.
I'm going to tell you what to do.
Where shall we go, Master William? I gotta say though, you do feel like a big dog. All right, when you peel off the brakes, it's just, it instantly wants to get up and go, but because it has so much torque, we gotta be careful. This thing's so long, we don't wanna curb that rear wheel. It has so much torque. I mean, that's 3,200 RPM. Redline is like 4,500. It's a very low revving engine, but it is full of torque. Let's see what it does. One of the neatest features in here, so obviously we see all this incredible wood and metalwork, and all of the switches are knurled, but if we hit this switch, it's all windows, so if I can push this up, every single window goes up with one button, so I'm not so concerned finding all of the buttons. I can just do it in one swoop. Oh, the steering is light, but there's plenty of feedback. It's not numb by any standards, but my goodness, this thing is wide. So as we're taking it down some objectively not even narrow roads, but for America, this is a narrow road. I can't imagine driving this on like British B roads and passing lorries and other large, wide vehicles. It's not without its mild, slight rattles. We have, when this window is up, you can hear that moving around on the driver's side. I'm sure that can be fixed, but it's all in the character of a British car, especially when it's something this outrageous. All right, taking our time. We'll let this gentleman do his thing. Oh yes. Ooh, Z3 M Coupe. Or I mean Roadster. I'm so used to saying that. Okay, back to the Bentley. I'm gripping this gorgeous steering wheel. Everything about it in this cabin feels so supple and elegant to the touch. You've got to put in kind of a bit of steering input. Luxury is the name of the game. I do not know what this weighs. I'll put it down below. I would say likely somewhere in the 5,000 pound range. Yeah, I'm sure I'm not far off saying that. And that means that around a corner, this is not going to impress you. We're on 255s all around on 20-inch wheels. So a 255 section tire, they look enormous on this car. They really do. But that's not that much of a contact patch for something this size. And the wheelbase is so long that a quick turn is not a thing. You're not going to get some agile quick turn. What's in here? I'm keeping an eye on all my gauges, and of course the cyclists, we want to respect them. We're going to burn through a lot of fuel because this does 9 miles per gallon city. 9 miles per gallon city. I don't know how large the tank is. I hope it's big. I genuinely hope it's big. Look at all these cyclists. I'm so glad I'm not driving the McLaren right now, because this is the experience I'm happy to have in this. We wave to the commoners, the common people on their bicycles. Master William, how are you faring in the rear?
Feeling rich.
Splendid, my dear. I think we go windows down. Ah, yes. A lovely jaunt. It's funny, at 20 miles an hour, I'm quite happy. I have zero feeling of like, man, I wish I was hustling this through a bend. No, this is exactly what you want. We'll wave to the cyclists.
I just did the royal wave.
Yes! All right, and then down here for the transmission, we can pop that into sport mode. It drops me down a gear and gives me the opportunity to feel all 650 pound-feet of torque. Sounds like a lot, okay? It does. It sounds like a lot. However, this weighs so much, and it's delivered in such a smooth way that it's not like this jolt. It doesn't have this sense of urgency, even though it does get up and go. Something I'm surprised about is that I'm not fully insulated from the world around me. I do, and I don't mean that as a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. I like that I can still feel the road. I can tell what the texture is. I can feel the bumps. I can sense what's going on around me, and that's lovely because I didn't want to lose all sense of driver inputs and road imperfections. That being said, you know, over some of these bumps, I'm surprised. If you had your glass of Pellegrino open, you'd probably be splishing and splashing it all over the place over the bumps. The brakes are very positive, but I will say, when you get into them, you've got about this much travel before you start really getting some clamping force. And it's designed, obviously, just to be this luxurious thing where, oh yes, we don't want any abrupt sudden changes. So as a driver, you get used to it very quickly, but you've got to be aware that you've got to give it the input. How are the rear seats feeling?
Honestly, this is super comfortable, a lot of leg room, and it's really reclined like a normal car as opposed to normal four-seater roadsters, which are really upright in the back.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of leg room back there too.
Yeah.
And off we go. Cars like the Bentley are so interesting to me because when we think of luxury cars, we think of a 7 Series, we think of an S-Class. This is an echelon above that. And that's why I think like Maybach has kind of a hard time, because at the end of the day, a Maybach is based on an S-Class. And no matter how incredible it is, it will always just be a gussied up S-Class to those who look at it. Whereas a Bentley and a Rolls Royce have just this incredible way of separating themselves from the crowd by brand awareness, and everything is just so outrageous and bespoke to the cars. In fact, I believe this Azure is kind of the last of the pure Bentleys before it became all Volkswagen parts, which isn't to say that today's Bentleys aren't good, but I think this has a little bit of heritage to it, that a Bentley connoisseur may look at this as if it were, you know, the Volvo connoisseur looking at the last straight 6 rear-wheel drive single leaf spring Volvos. Now this is the neighborhood I anticipated going to. Look at this. The Bentley fits right in here. New England's perfect for this. I feel like when you drive these in like Miami or something, it almost looks silly. It's so ostentatious, but it's like you're around all these people in bikinis and thongs and people rollerblading and everything's bright. Like, that's not where this car belongs. This car belongs like 1 month out of the year in beautiful weather in England. That's it. The question is, like, would this fit in any of these spots? It is so long. I mean, seriously, this is a large vehicle. I feel like my ass would just be sticking out. And as much as I love the Continental GT, I think this really fits the bill as a true Bentley. So, having said that all, I'll never afford one of these. I'll probably never drive an Azure again. Thank you so much to the owner. Thank you so much to the Patreon supporters for making this content possible. And thank you for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive, especially when you're driving such a graceful British Grand Tour. And I'll see you in the next one.